Hello, everyone, and Happy New Year. I have taken a bit of a break from doing the water videos. I do feel like I've been pretty successful with it. I think out of a total of about 45 to 50 days, I've only really missed two morning waters. So, really feeling like it's time to add some new goals. And speaking of goals, since it's the new year, a lot of people tend to have New Year's resolutions. And um, as we know, those don't always necessarily work out for everybody. It can be really difficult to stick with change, especially in the winter months, especially if you are neurodivergent or have ADHD, where sticking with things is extremely difficult and challenging because of our chemical imbalances. So, how do we stick with goals when we struggle as humans to begin with and then struggle even more with something like ADHD? The first step is to make sure that you are picking goals that are small and achievable. You can see me here. I am actually working on a fun little craft idea that I got from a client. Um, I thought it was really clever and it seemed like a good way to keep things interesting, which is something that's extremely important for people with ADHDs to keep things new and exciting. I am currently making a punch card based on some goals that I have for the year. So I started out with kind of looking at the things that I'm doing in my life right now, and where I'm putting my energy into, and then I broke down the areas that are least involved, such as like being creative and being more active and a few other things. And I put in several different tasks that could fall into those categories. And then I decided to make punch cards for two of the major goals that I have. One of them is to not buy a new book until I have read some of the books that I already have on my shelves. And the other is to write my own book. So you can see me here. I use some stamps and some ink pads and just like a 3x5 note card to make it colorful. I didn't like the way that the white turned out, so I went ahead and used a white pen to make it just a little bit darker and so that you could kind of see the designs a little better. But the main thing here is to go with the idea that kind of like a coffee card. You know, when you buy 10 coffees, you get the 11th one free. So the idea here is to put maybe 10 books on here, and once I've read 10, then I can buy a new book. And you can break this down into any kind of area of your life that you need to do something in. I also want to go out and do more activities that have to do with like going somewhere else, whether that's just a day trip to the coast or a day trip up to Portland, just kind of somewhere that is not quite here, but something that is achievable. So, not like Disneyland or Vegas or anything huge that would require large spending or more time or planning. And you could break something down like that. You can make it quarterly. The idea is to make these cards or any goal broken down in a way that accommodates your lifestyle, accommodates your needs and your goals, but that doesn't make it so out of reach that you can't accomplish it. So let's talk a little bit about some of the barriers to goals and achieving goals. One of the biggest barriers is perfection. So, a lot of times, especially if you have ADHD, you will basically stop yourself from doing something because you are either afraid that you can't do it perfect, or you will stop yourself from doing it halfway through because it's not going perfect. Perfectionism tends to go hand in hand with ADHD, and it's not like an end all be all. Obviously, if you are a perfectionist but don't have ADHD, that's entirely perfectly possible. But we do see often that those with ADHD also struggle with perfectionism. The other piece is that kind of impulsive need to have it done right now, have it done easy, have it done the way that I want it to. And if I don't succeed, or if I don't like it, or it becomes too hard, I give up. And so this exercise, actually, this craft that I'm doing here is an exercise in just kind of being okay with things not being perfect. I didn't love the way some of the stickers turned out. I didn't love the way that some of the stamping turned out in the second card that you'll see at the end. And I decided that it's okay. I loved how they turned out overall, anyways. And sometimes it's better just to be able to do something than to try and make it perfect. Easier said than done, of course. One of the things that I'm hoping to do on this channel as I kind of proceed and continue with my rusty but restarting journey is to explore the different aspects of ADHD and really just kind of share some information as I share my own journey. It's something that I work with clients all the time. It's something that I've kind of accidentally become an expert in given my own late life diagnosis. And so I hope that you all look forward to that. I know this video is a little bit longer than my other ones, and I'm thinking that's probably how this is going to start looking, with hopefully some weekly updates and just some new information about ADHD. Anywho, whatever your New Year's goals are, or whatever resolutions or intentions you have set for yourself, if any, I just hope that you are starting small, keeping it achievable. And the next most important thing is just to remember to leave it flexible. So if you find that you are not meeting your goals, chances are you probably set the bar just a little bit too high. And there's nothing wrong with reevaluating and stepping back. And with that, I will say one more Happy New Year to everybody, and I will see you all again soon with some more information on ADHD.